지금 코로나 바이러스 때문에 굉장히 어수선하잖아요.
첫 번째로는 마스크를 무조건 착용하는 게 좋다고 생각하고,
확실히 안 나가니까 그런 게 예방이 되는 것 같아요.
공공장소를 되도록이면 피해 주시고,
친구들이랑 같이 그 온라인 게임을 이제 같이 하면은 시간도 빨리 가고.
전 집에서 롤 조심해야지 다음번에 좋게 만날 수 있기 때문에
괜찮아질 때까지 GSL이랑 사투 리그 계속 사랑해 주시기 바랍니다.
라운드 오브 24 수, 어윤수, 트루, 방태수, 머니, 이재선, SOS, 김유진. 아프리카 TV 리그 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 코드 S 쇼다운.
Artosis, stop playing your banjo. All right, thank you. Oh, I said stop.
I just can't help it, Tasteless.
I know.
It's time to rock out.
Special thanks to our sponsors. There's new hot sixes out there, by the way.
Yeah.
The new two flavors, Storm and Punch.
Well, I think that's like, is that actually what they're called? Storm and Punch?
Check. Hold on, I'm gonna take the can. The Kings. Well, hold on. No, they all say the King. Yeah, this is Storm.
Guys, I just want you to know how much joy I'm having right now watching Tasteless, basically like a primitive monkey, try to figure out what's different between the two cans of Hot Six right now.
Yeah, I got two of them in my hands right now.
It's like, you know those games that kids play where there's a piece of paper and it has two pictures that are almost the same, but there's like a banana where a tree should be, and you
I'm
have to
really good
circle
at
it?
those games. That's
No,
funny you
you're
bring that up.
not, because I'm
Did
watching you try it on
did you
two
know-
cans, and it's not working.
Did you know you can play that game in arcades out here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I play it on arcades occasionally with my daughter. It's, but watching you play it right now, this is really the light of my life.
Well, basically, as far as I can tell, the only difference is that one's red and one's black. One says Storm, and it says, let's kick up a storm, with an exclamation point at the end.
Yeah.
The one that says Punch says, feel the wild punch, with an exclamation point.
Ooh.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
That one is
the
probably
wild
the better
punch?
one.
Should I taste them?
If you want, yeah. Go ahead. You should wait till you're on camera, though. It's better marketing.
Okay, yeah, that's true. It's much better.
Yeah.
All right, I'll at least open them for now, so we're ready.
Wait, you need to open them on camera. It's like great effects, like the sound.
Well, this one's already open, our toast,
Okay,
so
well,
we have a
open
back
that
of one.
Go ahead.
Man, backseat casting over here.
Backseat Hot Six.
Backseat product placementing over here.
Yeah. Jeez Louise. By the way, guys, we have another match coming up. It's Bunny against SOS. Bunny had a really rough year last year. He's been one of the better up-and-coming Terrans for some time in Korea. But yeah, very, very tough year. Didn't make it into Code S every season, which was abnormal for him. Hasn't had that much success. Whereas SOS, he's a bit up and down, but he's in very good shape right now. He showed us some great games in the Super Tournament, and definitely favored to get out of this group.
Bunny's always fun to cast. There's a lot of little quirks in his play that he just does that other players don't do. I love the way that he pushes. And I say this a lot, but let's see if he puts, tanks and medevacs and pops around the map and tries to surprise his opponent. I do think SOS is a stronger player, although Bunny is a formidable opponent. Let's see what happens as game one is ready on Nightshade.
전투 준비 완료. 퍼포먼스로 앞서가다 LG 울트라 기어와 넘버원 에너지 드링크 핫식스가 이번 전투를 지원한다고.
There are those cans I was talking about. The King!
타이지 게이밍 버니 이재선. 지니어 그리니지 SOS 김유진.
All right. His mouth. That was amazing.
We've got SOS immediately.
Have you tried that one that you opened yet?
No, should I try it now?
Yeah, try it. It's
The
an
black
early
one?
game.
All right.
Which one is this? This is Storm. This is the new one,
It's
right?
low calorie, by the way. That's one thing I spotted. Let me see if the punch one has low calorie. Artosis, I'm already ahead of the game.
Yeah, you're killing it right now.
All right,
buddy.
hold on. This one is what is it says storm flavor, but I don't know what that. Oh, hold on.
You don't know what a
taste it.
storm tastes like? Well, it matters what type of storm tastes. Like a sandstorm
good.
tastes like sand.
It's good. It's got a good mouthfeel.
It's got a good mouthfeel.
It's
That's
got a good
important.
mouthfeel.
That's important.
It's got a little bit of a fruity taste.
Okay.
It's good. I think I'm more of a, maybe more of the original. I'm not sure.
The blue one's the original.
Yeah.
That I'm sure of.
Yes. Power. If we've known anything for the 10 years we've been here, it's that the original Hot 6 can is the blue one.
Yes.
I'll try the punch one later. Let you know how I feel.
All right.
Now, Bunny is a great player. He's one of the players that has been more in the background when compared to some of our other top-tier players, like Sue, for instance, or Maru.
Yeah, for sure.
He has not managed to really break through. SOS, of course, as well. I mean, SOS has, for periods of time, been like the most dominant pro gamer in the world.
Yeah.
And so, we kind of anticipate that SOS will come out victorious. But again, one of the things that makes StarCraft specifically, since it's actually a well-aged esport, is that we can see some players begin to overcome and improve and transform themselves into better players. So, with the amount of downtime we've had here in Korea for StarCraft 2, let's see if maybe Bunny can really bring himself up to the next level and we can really reevaluate his play. But he'll have to handle the DT play coming here from SOS first.
Yeah, and that's tough. A couple things about Bunny. When he was very regular in Code S, like the year before last year, one of the big things that we were talking about and what we felt like he really needed to push himself up was he didn't really have any defining characteristics about him as much. Whereas you're like, this guy's good at this and this guy's good at that, and like these are their super strengths, their superpowers, but Bunny was kind of more vanilla. But really the way that what he came to be known for a little bit more was kind of like bullheaded moves, like loading up all his medevacs and flying into his main base. You know, like he's just he'll be like, all right, it's time to go to the main, or something like that, where it's like,
or spring an attack on a third, and just, if he gets it set up in time and you're not ready for it, he can win. But
something like
sometimes
that, where
there's
backfires.
Not,
it's a little bit more all in, a little bit less.
Well, it doesn't
strength
always
for a transition or anything like that.
It doesn't always seem to me like he's playing the most calculated way to approach StarCraft. It seems like he's fast and his macro's good, and he kind of tornadoes his way through a lot of games. Whereas, SOS is quite different. SOS just seems to have such a deep understanding of RTS in general. He's able to bob and weave through these insane strategies. Oh my God, great wall in here just in time by Bunny, and the scan comes down, driving the DTs out, meaning that this attack they will not be able to breach the natural.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going for a Widowmine drop during all this. So let's see if SOS sees this in time to actually stop it from doing massive damage. Oh my God, he had just built a building, so cycled out of there, and now a huge amount of damage being done.
I mean, that is as much as you could possibly do with probe kills, 14, and it seems like SOS's screen was not in the right place at the right time. He did not react quickly. He was unaware that the drop was happening until he saw his probes get killed. And so, a huge rocking blow to SOS as Bunny is taking a clear lead. I mean, denying the DT rush and doing that damage to the workers in the main, that's huge.
That is gigantic. He's got absolutely a big lead. Luckily for SOS, he had already chosen a tech route that has comeback potential, and that is going to be just splash damage base. We'll see if it's Disruptor or Colossus. It's going to be Colossus, which I think is slightly less comeback potential, but at least he's trying something here, because things are not looking too hot.
Yeah, this is not a bad idea. You need to get some capital out of those DTs after you've made them. And it looks like the Warp Prism will get out, but this is certainly not enough to balance things out as we've gone thus far. By the way, there's no third CC that's been made here, right? To be frank, I wasn't paying as much attention to the Terran side of the map.
I haven't seen a third CC.
I think he's just powering on 2 bases, so we might end up with some kind of a push here, which would not be too surprising coming from Bunny here.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, right now it's all looking relatively standard, right? Because we have like 3 Raxes. He's a little bit heavier on Marauders than we normally see, but I think that's going to be a good thing for this situation. And, you know, he's already got the Raven out, so that's going to be great against the Colossus.
He's going to try to trap the Warp Prism in here. And things are getting worse and worse here for SOS. I mean, if you were to cover up these players' IDs and just look at it from, you know, this Terran versus Protoss races, I mean, this Terran is clearly doing a better job. When you see the name SOS, you think, okay, maybe he's still got a shot. But, I mean, this is a pretty straightforward concept. I mean, the drop with the Widowmines did so much damage. This DT tech, DTs are not good at stopping massive pushes. They're good at springing attacks on players who are not ready. So, I mean, you have to imagine this is going to be very hard for SOS to hold.
He's got 2 warp gates. He's got 2 warp gates. What are we doing here? 2 warp gates.
He can disable the Colossus if he wants here. He comes into this attack.
He's got such a big army, man.
All right, here we go. There it is, the disable on that, and there's just nothing they can do. The Colossi are going to retreat, but this will cause SOS to sacrifice his entire ground army. He does not let the Widowmines go off just yet.
Well, like, can he actually hold on to this? I don't think so.
Well, I mean, it was the right move to pull the Colossi away. It was,
yeah. Well, without them, you're dead.
Yeah, now he does decide to drop on top of them, and the shield batteries have basically been exhausted, so these 2 Colossi are going to go down. Maybe with some warpins he could try to hold this off. There is a DT killing workers inside the main for Terran.
Yeah, like SOS has some good harassment going on during this, but it should not be enough. Bunny has added a ton of production facilities as well. His army is just going to continue to balloon, whereas SOS he's got like basically nothing left.
Yeah, I think we are pretty much to the maybe the conclusion of this game here. I mean, there's so much damage being done. The third is going to be taken out.
Yeah, I think SOS is staying just because he's got that ET still doing work.
Yeah, and it is killing SCVs.
Yeah, it's killed a lot. Like, the worker count is actually in SOS's favor, but obviously Bunny is, you know, he's playing Terran on 2 bases with a lot of production. He's got mules and all that. This is not an issue for him right now.
Takes out the... Actually, this would be a good time for Bunny to maybe even drop it to the main here, by the way.
Sure.
With the Colossi where they are. Oh, I love this. He just takes out the Cybernetics Core from the low ground. Actually, a really annoying building to lose at a moment like this.
Yeah. Especially when you just started Blink, right? Your opponent's making Vikings. Doesn't look too hot.
By the way, the third base is taken in a more forward position here. Since he can probably cover this while he continues to push. I mean, I don't think there's many more options for SOS other than to try to remake the third base and weather the storm of pushes that are coming here from Bunny. The only thing that's really kept SOS alive in this game was the tactical decision to ditch his Tier 1 units and have the Colossi flee in that initial attack, which kind of looked funny at first, but then when the Colossi came back, it barely held off the attack. It made a lot more sense.
All right, Bunny continues to macro up really heavily. You can see that his army supply is doubled SOS's at this point, so not looking super hot for our Protoss player. He has tried to retake this third. Really, the only thing going on for him right now is the fact that he has Colossus out. You know, if you maneuver them correctly, maybe you can make something happen. I feel like he should be adding disruptors, to be honest. Like, just something that gives him a little bit more randomness to the situation.
Yeah.
Because you look at this mathematically, and it doesn't look like something that Protoss could ever do in a million years.
Okay, coming forward now, and I mean, this is a pretty smothering attack here from Bunny. I love the drop in the back to draw some attention away. It is just these 2 Colossi and practically nothing else. The Disruptor's going to pop out. That should be targeted down pretty easily. GG. Bunny, in a pretty surprising victory, takes game number 1.
Well, things definitely can go wrong when you open DT and it doesn't do anything, and that certainly is how it opened, but let's not forget, 14 probes killed by that Widowmine drop. SOS just was not looking at his minimap at that moment, so it worked out perfectly for Bunny.
Yeah. I think also, you know, that the decision to go DTs you know, when it works, it can really work, but if it's held, you are in a weird spot for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
Your army is just always going to be very soft the first time they attack you when you go DT.
Yeah.
Because you put so much of your time and your money into that.
It's a funny thing about the unit is a DT, right? Like if you can surprise them or if you get where their army's not, tactically it's incredible, but it's not something you can then reincorporate with your main army to try to hold off an attack. They'll scan, they'll kill it
that's
very
a good way to put
quickly.
it.
It just doesn't give you utility like that. So I don't think we'll have SOS go for DTs again, but it's really hard to ever call what he's going to do in a series. He makes a lot of pretty crazy moves. That's why he's the two-time world champion.
Yeah.
Map 2 is Zen, and that's loaded up. Bunny versus SOS continues on.
전투 준비 완료. 카이지 게이밍 버니 이재선. 지니어 그리니지 SOS 김유진.
Right, so I do want to talk for a moment because it's one of my favorite subjects about StarCraft. Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
All right, so this looks like it's going to be a 2-gate push immediately. But the DT build, right?
Please.
It's like for almost every player, their strength is also their weakness.
Sure.
There's some people up at the top that I don't think that that's as much the case, but like SOS, like the risks he takes is why he's so dangerous, but also, like you saw there, I don't think anyone would disagree that SOS is a much more accomplished player and more likely to get far in GSL than Bunny.
Yeah.
But he'll do a build like that, and sometimes it just won't work. But sometimes it will just work. And so that's kind of like that unpredictability of him is also, it adds to the volatility both for him and against him, right? He's not like Stats where, you know, Stats on the other hand will do something so solid that Bunny will never beat him. But at the same time, he's a little bit predictable, so when you go up the chain a little bit, he can get beaten more easily.
You know, like SOS and Party, you know, both world champions, by the way, have a very specific type of Protoss style, which is unpredictable. They seem to know a lot of different ways to approach.
Yeah.
You know, each matchup, how to approach a game 3 or a game 4 in a best of 5, for instance, taking all the styles that they've shown so far and then throwing in something kind of crazy, or maybe even doing a repeat strat. Where, you know, you have somebody like, let's say, Stats or Innovation as a Terran player, right? And Bunny a little bit as well, where they're more trying to do a robust macro strat, trying to push, trying to macro, trying to scout. Very different play styles.
Yeah. So here, SOS getting very aggressive on just one base. He has those 2 gates, and he actually had a pylon placed in such a position. It looked like he wanted to go for a proxy Stargate with this. But with that probe being picked off, I think he has to change what he's doing here and probably make a Nexus.
Yeah. Now, this is already a little bit awkward here for SOS. Now, he needs to, if he can, snipe the SCV. I would imagine if you could micro perfectly, you could pop the SCV off and on here, in and out of the bunker. Actually, you know, this is working out better than I thought.
Yeah, it's really close to finishing, though. So, yeah, he gets it done. But this has been a good opener, I would say, right?
Sure.
Like, he's delayed the command center quite a bit.
Robo.
Where's the Robo?
Proxy Robo. It's at the front.
Okay, yeah,
He's going to push with an Immortal. Maybe even get a Warp Prism.
Yeah, I would say he probably wanted to get both.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Ooh, he's going to get that Reaper. That's kind of a big deal.
Base is under attack.
Sees the Nexus. Oh, my God.
Oh, wait, I think he got it. He got it. He got it.
Oh, my God. He threw the discus as the Reaper
He
was...
shot his Reaper shot like it was a basketball, and it landed on...
That was wild.
Or the Adept. Yeah,
if
the
he
Adept shot
had
on the
not
Reaper.
gotten that, that would have been very nice
Yeah.
for Bunny. But the thing is, it can be hard to read anyways when you get in there. Is he missing a building? Like, what is on the map?
Yeah.
Kind of a funny opener overall. Look at this. He looked in the exact same place he already looked for it, and it's not there. My gosh. by golly, tasteless. He already sent.
Howdy.
Boy, howdy. I'm like really surprised that he didn't go any further because he already scanned that. He already went through that area.
Gee willikers, Artosis. These guys sure are great gamers. Am I right or what?
Not with a move like that. If you scout somewhere for a proxy and it's not there, and then the proxy hits you, do you scout the same location again or maybe a new one?
Here we go. He's coming through. He unloads over here. Another warp in comes.
All right, well, there is definitely a lot of Terran here, so I'm not sure how much he's really going to get done.
Yeah, well, he could try to shuffle this out. Okay, that actually went very poorly. Yeah.
Huh.
That's a decent number of kills. Now, keep in mind that Protoss has to keep the momentum going. You have to keep battering the Terran. You have to punish the fact that they're expanding. Keeping that worker count low is good, but they still have all those defending units there. I mean, that's why the workers were killed in the first place, was to tank damage so that the Marines and Cyclone and everything else could get in there and actually fight. Now, there's a good launching pad for more attacks here with this pylon powering the robo and the gateway in this position, and a warp prism orbiting the outside of the Terran's base.
Yeah, look at this. He's actually just continuing to do damage. I love the fact that there's a disruptor out. We're getting prism speed right now as well. All right, just the... Oh, my God. This is going to be awesome. The disruptor drop coming in.
Yeah, now this could be huge, especially... Oh! Okay, not a bad play at all. He hits the Cyclone.
Yeah.
At first, I thought he might try to go for the Marines on the right.
The Cyclone is kind of the scary thing that can actually pick stuff off.
That could take out the War Prism, and then your attack is going to completely fall flat. It also appears that while this push is going to continue, and by the way, Terran might lose that CC, the third base is going to be taken over here.
Banshee flying up right now, though, and this Banshee, there's no units at home for sure, so he's going to have to utilize a recall or maybe a warping round. We'll see what's up with that. Okay.
Here's the two Stalkers coming forward, a third to join.
Oops. Yeah, I think that might have been a recall for those.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it leaves him a little bit less at the front right there. Now the speed is done for this Prism, so let's see what else he gets done. Oh my God. I feel like that shouldn't... I don't want to be overly critical, but when the Disruptor shot comes out, don't you just know if you're going to kill the Disruptor before it goes off? It's not like those Marines were very... the Disruptor's not at 1 health, is what I'm trying to say here.
Are you saying he should have split better?
Yes. Yeah. I think he should have split instantly, knowing that there was no way for him to kill that.
Well, I think there's so much going on. He might have even been moving, you know, something on the other side of the map there.
Maybe.
I mean, that is the thing, is sometimes stuff just dies because your screen is not where it needs to be at that time. You know? Starcraft really is. Okay, hold on. Great disable here. I'll get on this point in a second. War Prism, again, speed really shows you how fast this thing can actually go.
It's pretty silly, isn't it?
It can haul ass across the map pretty quickly if it needs to.
Yeah. No problem.
You know, one thing I think that people don't understand when they think about StarCraft is that they think of it as two players doing everything perfectly the entire time. Really, it's actually a game about priority. And then knowing, you know, where you can devote your attention to for that specific period of time versus other stuff. And once you realize that, that's when you can really see, you know, how good players, where they focus their strengths on, you know?
So let's take a look at where this game is at. Pretty similar worker counts at the moment. Much bigger army for SOS, but doesn't really have the upgrades for it. It's a bunch of Adepts and a few Stalkers, as well as the Speed Prism with Disruptors. So the Speed Prism with Disruptors, really good. The Adepts and Stalkers, not really all that valuable the later we get into this game.
Yeah.
Especially since he's focusing on charge. So you see he's starting to add these Zealots in as well. Of course, this can be a very tough army to utilize correctly when basically you have units charging forward and then also Novas going forward. You got to make sure that those don't overlap.
It's kind of funny looking. This might be enough to punt the CC off of the third base.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay, this is actually like an okay. GG.
Okay. Oh, well done by SOS. Maybe Bunny should have not killed that probe and let him get the Stargate it looked like he was trying to get.
That's probably, when he goes back and looks at the replay, he's going to be writing that down in his build order notebook.
For sure.
Man. Well, SOS crushing. Very different style that time around.
Yeah.
But he wanted to pick up a lot of momentum early on and basically control the Terran, beat the Terran, make the Terran submit, until eventually the Terran doesn't have enough. Terran's desperately trying to grow out and get a third base. And that's just one way to play that matchup. SOS did it beautifully. Now we go to game 3.
All right, simulacrum. Let's do it.
That's that alarm sound in Artosis. That's the sound in Bunny's base when they find a pylon of SOSs just on the outside. Terrans are loading their guns. Oh my God, SOS's proxy's coming!
He's here already!
Guys, game 3 starts now. Bunny versus SOS. Let's go.
전투 준비 완료. 카이지 게이밍 버니 이재선.
Bunny. The way he said that ID, that's something you say after you did a really great drop. Bunny.
Bunny.
지니어 그리닝즈 SOS 김유진.
Bunny.
You're funny.
Lowercase b, capital U, and N.
Some probe harassment going on from SOS. Very annoying, of course, for the Terran. Simulacrum. Let's see what these guys have planned. It looks like SOS probably going to go for an actual expansion right away this time. So we've seen from him already proxy DT. We've seen from him speed disruptor drops after a 2-gate opener. Oh, Zella first. That's
Very cool.
interesting. Okay.
Am I wrong? I
Yeah.
feel like SOS has had. Yes, you are just wrong.
Whatever you're about to say.
I think SOS has shown the widest variety of play with Protoss that we've ever seen. Is that correct? I think it is.
Yeah.
He basically has done
Yeah.
every kind of strat conceivable.
Yeah, and some actually that were inconceivable. Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, well that went directly into. Dude, I can't even believe this. You know that.
He literally just made a
I
Nexus
can't even believe this.
in his base, and now he's making a pylon, a Mariner pylon.
What is going on?
He
me tell you
is an
something.
alien.
The heart palpitations I would be having as Bunny right now, where I'm like, oh my God, I'm on TV, I don't know what he's doing,
I love
don't
that
know what
he's
he's
not.
doing, oh my God.
I love that he's not reacting very much. Warp gate is so far off. Like, is this supposed to? The only thing I can think is like, are we recalling?
That's
Right?
the only thing I can think of right now. I'm like, no, he needs to make
I
another
feel
probe
like,
out of
look
that
at this though.
Nexus.
He's hitting the command center in the natural. Like, do you force units to go up and attack the command center, or the Nexus rather, and
This might
then
be the
cancel,
craziest
force a
thing we've
cancel in the
seen.
natural? Like, is that what this is?
This might be the craziest thing we've ever seen.
He has 2 Nexuses
It took
making.
10 years for us to get to this moment.
This is
What
so
is
weird.
he doing? I guess it has to be
Why is he
recall,
hitting
right?
the depot instead of the command? Does he know already that he's got the command? Like,
Does he finishes it? It finishes, okay. I mean, there's no reason to make one and cancel.
I
but
want
this
him
is
to
good.
chrono boost something at home.
Wow.
Oh my God, he just
Wow.
recalled this to a Depson.
What?
I don't even know because it takes 3 shots to 1 shot, right?
This is, well, Terran seems to have enough though, right?
I don't know what's going on, man.
But the Nexus isn't dead yet.
Is he gonna recall DTs in Nex?
I think
is
so.
Is that Nexus? Is there any possibility that that's
Well,
still there?
If he's hitting the Nexus,
He's making probes out of it! He's making probes out of the Nexus in Bunny's base!
he can make another pylon. He can make another pylon of
Oh
warp
my
NDTs.
God.
I can't even believe we're seeing this.
He needs to make a pylon with a shield battery to reheal the Nexus.
Okay, so the Nexus is certainly going to go down now. How far out are the DTs?
They're too far out to get the recall done. He's only got a Stalker right now, Tasis. He has a Stalker fighting a Cyclone back at home.
Does he know about the probe? He does not know about the probe.
This is
crazy.
madness.
This is the craziest
This
thing
is the next
I
level.
think I've ever cast. It took
10 years?
I think the players were better in Wings of Liberty.
Well,
This is so sick. This is so crazy. He doesn't have energy at the natural. He has 35 energy in the main.
Oh my God, he's
going
gonna win with this.
Are coming in.
He's going to win with this. I am just staring at Bunny's face right now.
SOS. So many,
Come on.
so many wrinkles on this guy's brain. Look at this.
Oh my God, he's going to get one scan, Tasus.
And he actually, I think, is
Oh
going to
my
save
God.
both. He can go to the bottom. He doesn't
No
kill
way.
either.
No
Wow.
way.
Okay. So,
I can't even believe what I'm seeing here. Bunny just had a Nexus made in his
I
base
feel like
that
this
made a probe to make a pylon
this strategy
and lost to it.
This strategy sounds like a script for a B-grade esports movie.
Yeah.
You know, of the strategy that the guy uses to win in the finals, and it's like, yeah, that's not how the game works. And then SOS does it, and I'm like, oh.
Dude, you know what? I think that SOS got pissed when Classic had that cool Blink DT thing at BlizzCon. He's like, no,
Yeah.
I got something better. Watch
Yeah.
this. you want
GG.
ETs in the main?
GG.
I'll show you how to get them there.
Oh my God. That's one for the history books.
I can't even believe what I just saw. I can't even. That's like too much for me, Tasteless.
That is, I mean,
The most
whoa.
depraved minds on the North American server couldn't come up with that.
No, that is just, there's only one SOS.
There's only one.
In all
Thank
of
God.
Yeah, thank God. Imagine if there were multiple SOSs and they started teaming up against us. We couldn't stop them.
Well, I feel like if SOS ever played SOS, they like wouldn't even attack each other. They'd patrol their units and like glitch out like computers against each other. It just wouldn't even make sense. It'd be like this massive, army of oracles just flying around near each other like that.
I mean, that whole series was amazing, but that last strategy
Best
was
series of
so
all time.
crazy. So let's sum that up. He makes a Nexus in plain sight, warps in the Adepts, makes a probe to make the pylon, gets the DTs in, and wins the game there. We got to go to a quick break. Sorry. When we come back, our third best of three. Don't go away.